Hey everyone, another moment with Michelle. We've been talking about Enneagram, and today we're going to talk about Type 5. But let me remind you, the Enneagram system, the Enneagram typology is built from this place of values. Values motivate us. It's why we say and act like what we do. And so every typology has a motivating value, a value that pushes them. And when that value gets threatened in some way or challenged in some way, that we feel vulnerable, and from that place of vulnerability we tend to overcompensate. So that's what the Enneagram does for us. It shows us all that and helps us understand kind of the box we put ourselves in and how to get out of it. So when you're trying to figure out what Enneagram type you are, think about yourself in your 20s. That makes it a little simpler, a little easier to determine which type you are if you think of yourself in your 20s, and that will help. So I have a lot of experience as a type 5, so I can speak from this personally. Type 5s are analytical. Type 5s are calm in crisis. They're objective. They're insightful. You might be a type 5 if. Let's go through this list today. You might be a type 5 if people confide in you because you are a good listener. All kinds of people everywhere. You don't need much, but you tend to protect what you have. You have to be very careful with your time and your energy. You might be a type 5 if you need alone time. You might be a type 5 if being informed makes you feel safe. And maybe at times you prefer to observe rather than participate. You might be a type 5 if you do that. And finally, if you are currently reading 5 books, or 7 or 12, you are likely a type 5 because the value of the Enneagram 5 is wisdom. That's the value, wisdom. That's what drives Enneagram 5s. And so when we're feeling vulnerable, we become greedy intellectualists, meaning we gather more information. I can't get started because I don't know everything. We gather more information. And then when we feel that vulnerability and we begin to overcompensate, we overcompensate by safeguarding, or some people will call hoarding, what we have. Because the Enneagram 5 is really operating from a scarcity mentality. There's not enough. There's not enough time. There's not enough energy. There's not enough information. There's not enough. And so that's when that overcompensation, we begin to protect what we have. So the Enneagram Type 5 would be called the investigator, and their superpower is that they are objective, meaning they can get above the noise, above the emotion, and be objective about whatever the situation is, or the person, or the situation. So everybody wants an Enneagram 5 for that reason. Now, if you think you might be raising a child, an Enneagram 5 that's a child, I have some tips for you. One is walk through changes with them step by step and give them the time to adjust, to acclimate to the changes. Remember, from their perspective, there's not enough energy. There's not enough. Changes take too much from them, so that's why they need that extra help there. Another tip is give them rational reasons for why you have this rule or why there's this expectation. They will do so well if they have the understanding, if they have the why of it. And then show them you're confident in them. Show them confidence in themselves. So parents are confident that they can do it. We're confident you can do it. Because they are going to question their own confidence. So if you are confident in them, that's going to be huge. Now, if you are a type 5, if you're looking to be healthier as a type 5, I have some tips for you. And the first one is to recognize when you're succumbing to scarcity mentality. This has been a huge thing for me to understand about myself, and recognize that you're operating from this place of scarcity and you're hoarding something, whether it's affection, privacy, love, time, money, knowledge, It could be possessions, whatever, thoughts. Just recognize that scarcity mentality in your hoardings. And then venture out of your comfort zone. This would be my second tip. Venture out of your comfort zone and share more of yourself, more of who you are and what you have with others. And finally, take up an activity like yoga. This is really significant. Something, doesn't have to be yoga, but something that connects you with your body, because there's a disconnect. Fives typically have a disconnect between their body and their head. And if you can make that connection, it will be pretty life-changing. So that's a synopsis of type 5s. If you're a type 5 and you want to get healthier, you want to live from that design in a beautiful way, I'd love to partner with you in that. You can find me, I'm Michele Gooch, by the way, at Life by Design. You can find me at lifebydesign.guru, www.lifebydesign.guru. I know everyone is working at living a life on purpose, being intentional about the way we live. And many times we get stuck along the way, and having someone to come alongside you and help you move through that stuck place is a huge gift. And that's what I love to do. So come find me and maybe we can partner on your journey. I will be back in 2 weeks. Won't be back next week, but I will be back in 2 weeks, and we will talk about Enneagram Type 6s. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, Wednesday at 1.